U.S. negotiators held talks with a Russian delegation in Saudi Arabia today on a proposed partial ceasefire in Ukraine.
That comes one day after the negotiators met with the Ukrainian delegation. Both countries have agreed in principle to a temporary ceasefire, but major sticking points remain.
For now, though, the war grinds on. In Sumy, Ukraine, people stranded in their homes today after a Russian missile barrage set residential buildings ablaze. The attack injured the elderly and hit this school while children were sheltering inside. While thousands of miles away in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, high-stakes negotiations to try and iron out the details of a ceasefire. Two senior U.S. officials met behind closed doors today with the Russian delegation led by Moscow's former deputy foreign minister. That's after the U.S. met yesterday with the Ukrainian delegation led by that country's defense minister. President Trump today speaking to reporters.
We're talking about territory right now. We're talking about lines of demarcation. We're talking about power plant ownership.
But it's not clear the sides agree on exactly what has been paused in their limited ceasefire. The White House and Kremlin described it as a stop on energy infrastructure attacks, but Ukraine described it as a halt on energy and other civilian infrastructure. Also on the table, a deal to pause attacks in the Black Sea, where Ukraine managed to sink or push out Russia's fleet.
Putin's got a huge respect for the president.
It comes amid a 180-degree shift in U.S. policy toward Moscow. That was on full display when Special Envoy Steve Witkoff suggested in a weekend interview with Tucker Carlson that Ukrainians in 4 regions partially occupied by Moscow want to be part of Russia.
They're Russian-speaking.
Yep.
There have been referendums where the overwhelming majority of the people have indicated that they want to be under Russian rule. Will the world acknowledge that those are Russian territories?
Those September 2022 Kremlin-run referendums have been denounced as shams by the international community. Security footage from one of them shows a woman being led to vote by a Russian soldier carrying guns. Another shows an elderly woman monitored by a Russian soldier as she casts her ballot. Witkoff went further, imagining a total reset with Russia.
Thinking about how to integrate their energy policies in the Arctic.
Exactly.
Share sea lanes. Maybe send LNG gas into Europe together.
Back in Ukraine, until there's an across-the-board ceasefire, Ukrainians will continue to pick up the pieces after persistent Russian attacks.